about Klesmit, though. Only one double-figure game in the last 6 that he's played.
Klesmit breaks the field goal drought and gives the Badgers the lead. Klesmit with some confidence to the rim. Klesmit again. If you had Max Klesmit carrying the Badgers lead, congratulations.
What a second half it was for Max Klesmit. Wednesday night in Wisconsin's win over Ohio State, he scored all 18 of his points in the game in the second half, and on top of that made things really tough on the Buckeyes. Jamison Battle on the defensive end held them to just 4 points in the final 20 minutes after he scored 14 in the first half, and as was pointed out here, Battle did not score in the final 12 minutes of the game. Max Klesmit joins us now. He is today's big interview. Max, I want to talk about the scoring first. It's not out of nowhere. I mean, you had 21 against Marquette. You had a really good game in the win against Iowa, but you scored 14 points in 6.5 minutes in this game. What was going through your mind as you were kind of torching the Buckeyes?
Yeah, I think it's just a credit to my teammates, kind of telling me stay aggressive, be yourself, be who you are. A lot of things in the first half didn't necessarily go my way in terms of finishing at the rim and different offensive things, but it's just the team that we have now, the confidence that we have in one another, and, pouring into one another and really taking in the team aspect into account here and just having fun playing the game with one another at the end of the day.
It wasn't a whole lot of fun for Jamison Battle, as we mentioned there in the second half. You really shut him down, and that is kind of your bread and butter. I mean, you're one of the best one-on-one defenders, not just on your team, but in this league. Some guys don't seem to enjoy playing defense. Why do you relish it in the way that you do?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of one of the things that I got to bring to the table. It's kind of the edge, the not chippiness, but the competitive spirit that I kind of have behind me that kind of wills me and the team forward sometimes. When you go on scoring droughts and stuff like that, you got to rely on your defense and the hustle plays and the little things that matter in a game that won't show up in a box score. So I think just taking the pride in those little things is kind of the separator between me and some of the other guys that we play against.
Your teammates really praise your toughness. Where does that come from? Is that innate? Have you always been like that on the basketball court, or is it something that you incorporated into your game and learned along the way?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a learning curve along the way growing up. Kind of just being, a little undersized in terms of, bigger guards, stronger guards, more athletic guards. So kind of just using like that competitive spirit, like I was talking about, using that edge. And then, the other guys on the team feed off that as well. So whatever I can do to pour into the guys on the team, pull the best out of them, that's what I'm trying to do.
Your team's off to a great start. You're the only undefeated team left in conference play. And the clear difference from a year ago is offensively. I mean, just a dramatically better offensive team than last year. At what point did you realize in the offseason that you guys had a chance to be pretty good on that end of the court?
Yeah, I think we kind of found out from the start in the summer, just playing with one another, getting a feel for, how it's going to work. And it was a little slow, to be honest, to start off the year, 3 losses against 3 really good teams. But that's kind of just through the trials of how it all works early in the season, getting a feel for one another, brought in John, Nolan, and then the transfer in AJ. So just getting used to how each other plays, what each other's comfortable doing and things like that. So
it was a disappointing year last year, obviously, for you guys. A rare miss of the NCAA tournament, something that doesn't happen very often at all at Wisconsin. And in this era of the portal, Max, it really feels like it's a situation where a lot of people could have left. Why do you think this team stayed together after that disappointment?
Yeah, I think that's just kind of a credit to, everybody off the court here. On the court, in the weight room, we get after it. We compete at a high level each and every day. But then, we're able to turn that off once we step outside the lines. All 18 guys we got in this locker room are super close with one another. And, I think that goes a long way in terms of the relationship you have then on the court, playing with one another, playing with the pride, the joy, and just playing free. But I think that's really the key thing is the relationship that we've built with one another off the court here to start the year.
So you are from Neenah, Wisconsin, started your career at Wofford. I was looking at your recruiting profile on 24/7. They had you as a 0-star recruit. So I would say they missed just a bit on Max Klesmit. Tell me about your recruitment. Tell me about you in high school and who recruited you and how you ended up at Wofford.
Yeah, it was pretty slow for me to begin with. Junior year, it really started to pick up. Kind of got some Division I looks right after my junior school season, going into my last AAU season. Just had a lot of Division II offers kind of leading up to that, but I kind of got that offer from Wofford, and it was the most fitting for me at the time, so I kind of took it. It felt like the right fit and everything, and once I got there, kind of got a little homesick. It was hard for me to play with no family really at any of the games, considering I got a lot of family that still lives in Neenah and in Wisconsin in general. So, once I had the opportunity to come back here to Wisconsin and play, it was a no-brainer. I had to jump on it. It was a dream for me since I was a little kid. So I'm blessed here now that I'm back at the school that I've dreamed about being at, and cherish every moment of it.
I know you grew up in a family of Badgers fans. Your first sporting event was a hockey game at the Kohl Center when you were 18 months old. You guys would drive down to Badger football games all the time. The first time you slipped on Wisconsin, I'm assuming it was Wisconsin practice gear, what was that moment like?
It was special. It was kind of hard to go into the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror and see that you're finally in it. It was pretty surreal to me, but that's just the thing about staying in the moment, being thankful for what you have in front of you, with whatever's in front of your face. Be grateful and thankful for that. So just trying to take it really one day at a time here. Still get the same feeling I had, the first practice where we threw on the practice jersey. I still get that same feeling when I got to put it on for each and every practice that we got throughout the season. So just keeping that same mentality, kind of moving forward, being appreciative and grateful for what I got.
Do you see this as proving people wrong in any way? The fact that you are out there, the fact that essentially no one at this level recruited you at all or believed that you could play there, and here you are not just playing at Wisconsin, but a starter and a really key player in Big Ten wins.
For sure. I know I can definitely feel it. I feel like I proved a lot of people wrong, just in terms of back home and what the limitations people had on me and how far I could grow or what my ceiling was and stuff. But I'm still growing as well. I think the ceiling's still pretty high, and that's what I love doing. We love proving people wrong here at Wisconsin. I think that's kind of what we're known for, having that edge, that competitive spirit. So it kind of works hand in hand, I guess, that I ended up back here. But, I think that's, like I said, that's the difference maker is kind of that competitive spirit, that edge that I play with.
You mentioned your family earlier. I know you have two siblings who play basketball, one in college, one in high school, and your family famously tries to get to every game. They even went to a game last year where you were out with an injury, went down to Evanston and watched Wisconsin play Northwestern. What has it meant to be able to share this experience, as you said, with your family now being closer to home?
Yeah, that's the other huge aspect for me, going to the games at the Kohl Center, seeing all your family members in, 11 gear, Wisconsin gear, and, they almost look happier than I am to just be at the game, watching the game. So that's really for me when, you kind of it's bigger than yourself. It's bigger than the game of basketball. You bring a community, another group of people together for a bigger and better thing. So it's an awesome thing to be able to see all those people, travel from around the state that come to watch me.
Andy Katz was showing the story on the broadcast the other night that you are a meditator along the lines of J.J. McCarthy, who's kind of made that famous at Michigan. How did you kind of happen upon the practice of meditation?
Yeah, it kind of started with another teammate of mine, Carter Gilmore and Tyler Wall. Once I transferred in, they had kind of already started this meditation process, this breathing technique, stuff to calm you down before games. And, I've always kind of been amped up, hyped up, ready to go before the game. high energy, not really, looking to settle down at all. But they kind of taught me, and, the experience that they've had. Tyler's been here a while, so learning different tricks and tips from them, it really does help me calm down, put you in the moment. And I kind of like doing around that atmosphere, like I said, too, because, that's what you're going to be in. That's the hostile environment you got to be in. So you got to be able to, go from being at a crazy high energy level to bringing it all the way down to ground zero. So I think just kind of doing that before the game helps you during the game as well.
Yeah, that's what's interesting to me, that you do it in the arena rather than quiet place in the locker room. But it sounds like that's on purpose, right? That's by design, based on, hey, this is where the game's going to be. Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously there's different techniques and stuff that you do off the court at another time. But I think, what I do, the technique that I used in the gym, in the arena, that wherever we're playing, it really helps me kind of be in the moment of where we are, not really get distracted by things that you can't control. You got to focus on what you can control and stay in the moment and worry about just mastering the moment in front of your face.
Well, let's focus on the moment ahead of you tomorrow as we wrap things up. You guys take on Northwestern. Wildcats are playing pretty well here. What's the scouting report on NU?
They got 3 really good guards that they play. Kind of similar to Ohio State last game in terms of just the heavy guard play and the usage rate on those guys. They got a great point guard in Boo Buie, and then the supporting cast in Barry, transfer in Langborn, and he's surrounded by shooters then as well throughout the other 4 spots. So I think just trying to contain him. You're never going to stop a really good player like Boo Buie, but being able to contain him, slow him down as much as possible, I think it's going to be a big key for us.
Max Klesmit, looking forward to watching that game tomorrow. Been a real pleasure to chat with you, and congratulations on proving all the doubters wrong and all your success in Madison.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can see Klesmit and the Badgers in action. Again, it's tomorrow here on the Big Ten Network, game 1 of a doubleheader as they host Bowie and the Cats. That'll be followed by number 1 Purdue. First game since the Nebraska loss. They play host to Penn State. It's all tomorrow, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.